What's going on? Travis here, trainaggressive.com, coming back at you. This is the second part of my overhead squat series video here. And in the first video, we went over just basic technique, tips, and cueing for the overhead squat, assuming that you have good shoulder positioning and overall mobility in the hips, the ankles, to get full range of motion while staying in a good position with your overhead squat. Now, if you're somebody that's struggling with this movement, it's most likely due to you having tight shoulders, tight hips, tight ankles. All right? And so I wanted to go over a couple different mobility drills that'll help you out, that'll help improve those different areas. And we'll go ahead and start from the top, work our way down. So tight shoulders, all right? So a good check for this is, are you able to, with a closer grip, press a barbell overhead, get those elbows fully locked out? Can you get your head through your arms like this with locked out elbows? All right, big issue I see a lot of people, happen with a lot of people. They get here. This is all the more mobility they have. They press out and I say, hey, lock your elbows out. Lock your elbows out. I'm trying to. They can't because their shoulders are so tight, they can't get that extra few inches. All right? So it's not going to be your elbows that are lacking in the range of motion. It's going to be, more than likely, it's going to be your shoulders. So that's the area that you got to hit. So one of my favorite mobility drills, just to start off with, loosening up those shoulders, because many times it's due from a lot of pressing, maybe past injuries, and so that whole joint just gets tight, bound up, and so we just got to start working the soft tissue and just working that range of motion. So one of my favorite movements, grab yourself a band, or you can even do it with a PVZ pipe. A band works a little bit better, gives you a little bit of leeway to move, but just shoulder dislocators. So you're going to come all the way over the top, touch the butt, all the way back through, while keeping those elbows locked out. Let me tell you, when I first started doing this, I couldn't get past here, all right? So I was so tight. I was tight in the chest, the shoulders, the delts, traps everywhere. It's preventing me to get past this point right here. And it'll be a little painful to get past that point, but it'll start loosening up, it'll start getting better, all right? A couple things you can do with this movement that'll help out. If you can't pass through the top like this, as you go over, you can go to the left, cross over the top there. When you come back through, now you can go over to the right, and you're still working that range of motion, that mobility right there. That'll help. That's one of my favorite ones right there. Now, if you're really having issues, I definitely recommend getting a lacrosse ball to break up all that soft tissue. All right, so we got to think about the front, the top, the back, all those areas, the lats. If the lats are extremely tight, that's going to also hinder our mobility. So you got to focus on all those areas, kind of see where you're tight. Breaking up that soft tissue is going to definitely help. So a lacrosse ball, a big PVC pipe, so something that's hard, that's going to break up that soft tissue. One of my favorite soft tissue mobility drills to work is simply just set your lacrosse ball on the ground. You're going to put it on your trap or on your delt, any area that's very tight. You're going to put pressure on it, and now you're going to go through range of motion here, just working out the kinks a little bit. It's going to help break up that soft tissue and help improve that range of motion right there. All right, so that's a good one, and you can do that for pretty much any area. Now, another very, very good one with the lacrosse ball here, working on our chest, is you take it, put it against a wall. I'll just demonstrate on the squat post here. You'll put it here, you'll lean against it, so this might be a doorway, all right, where you can move your arm. We'll put it right in the insertion point there, your pec, shoulders, and we'll get a little bit of range of motion going here. So you go all the way up, all the way down. And again, that might be pretty painful. If you're really tight, all you've been doing is bench press for a while, that's going to be an issue. So you got to break up that soft tissue to get that mobility back. All right, so those are a few of my favorite for the upper body. Now, Moving down to the hips are going to be another area that people are typically lacking a lot of mobility in. All right, so our goal is to get those hips to open up more. So we should be able to squat, push those knees out, get the hips well below parallel with good hips, all right? I can remember when I first started off, getting serious with the Olympic lifts anyways, my squat was only about to right here, okay? Once I started being able to open up those hips better, that's when things changed, all right? So again, a couple things you can do with the lacrosse ball. Hit all the soft tissue around your joint, all right? So you just simply lay the lacrosse ball down on the ground, find a tight area. You're just going to kind of roll on that area, put pressure down on that soft tissue there. You're going to kind of break it up. You can do this with the lacrosse ball. You can also do it with PVC pipe. All right, it's just kind of your choice. Now, another great mobility drill that you can do doesn't require any sort of equipment. It's just what I like to call a big lunge stretch or a big lunge mobility. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to take a big drop lunge back. Hand is going to be on top of that front foot, so the foot's not coming up off the ground. And we're going to push that knee out, and we're just going to mobilize that hip. So we're going to rotate in, we're going to rotate out, and you're just kind of chilling out in this position. We're not stretching, we're mobilizing. So we're continuously kind of moving, trying to find those really tight areas. We can go elbow to instep even. Push that chest down to the ground while we rotate in. We can rotate towards the front leg, and you're just mobilizing. What you do, kind of chill out in this position for 90 seconds, 2 minutes, and you get both sides. And then another addition to this, maybe it's not just specifically your hips, maybe it's also your hamstrings that's giving you some issues. And so you start out in the same position, and all you do is drive up through your heel, straighten out that leg. Toe's going to pop up. Now we're getting a little bit of hamstring mobility in here. We'll just pop back. Now we're getting the hips. Now we're getting hamstrings. And a lot of times, when somebody first tries this and they're very tight, all right, tighten the hips, tighten the hamstrings, this is what it looks like. This is all the further they can get. Okay, so if that's you, that's a big issue. So you're going to have to regress it a little bit. And I'm telling you, it'll take time, but you'll be able to get up to this range of motion right here. All right, that's what you want. Full range of motion with the hips and the hands. All right, so try those there to help open up those hips. Last but not least is going to be those ankles. This is an area that I really struggled with for a long time. A lot of ankle injuries as I was growing up. So I'd say to start off with breaking up the soft tissue. All right, so a great one, simply putting PVC pipe on the ground, and you're just going to hit the lower part of your calves. And this can be pretty painful. You can take like a sandbag to put more pressure here, but we've got to break that soft tissue up. Breaking that soft tissue up alone will help improve that ankle mobility. All right, so you can do this with a PVC pipe. I've also taken kettlebells and just put my ankle or my calf on the handle of the kettlebell, and that supplies some good pressure to help break up the soft tissue there. What you can do in addition to that, again, take a lacrosse ball and you can manually break that tissue up around the ankle. All right, it's going to be painful, but if you want to improve that mobility, those are the types of things that you're going to have to do. So again, just improving that soft tissue around the ankle, in the calves, is going to help improve that mobility by itself. Now, if you want another little drill here, what you need is a band, and you'll put the band around a post towards the bottom. You'll put the band, put your ankle into the band, down around your ankle, step away from the band, kind of get in that lunge position again. And now, while we're in this lunge position, we're going to push the knee out again, because we want to be working good positioning. So we don't want to just squat down here, but you want to push the knee out, and now we're going to kind of mobilize that ankle. All right, what the band's doing is kind of pulling the joint in the opposite direction. And so we're going to mobilize while that's happening. And you can kind of approach it just like I talked about with the hip mobility drill. Just hang out 90 seconds to 2 minutes. If you don't have a band, you can pretty much do the same thing. You're just going to put a lot of weight on that one foot and kind of lean to the outside. You're just going to kind of mobilize that ankle. I'd recommend doing this after you've hit soft tissue work. So you've loosened things up. You've gone through kind of a warm-up a little bit, got the blood flowing. This is something that you can do before a squatting session, obviously, if we're going to be doing some overhead squats. Got to improve the ankle mobility, hip mobility, shoulder mobility, so you can get in the correct position to do the movement, all right? This is going to obviously transfer over to Olympic lifting with your snatches, even your cleans. This stuff is critical, all right? It's not just for the overhead squat. So, a lot of stuff in this video. Drop your comments below if you got any. Hope this helps you out, especially with getting yourself better at the overhead squat. I know it'll help you. Kick ass and go 110% hands. So keep living and training aggressive. Travis, I'm out.